Caleb Downs is coming back from an injury. Should Ohio State fans be anything like, worried? What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching the #1 college football show, welcome. Thank you for joining us here. We talk college football year round. If that is something that you are into, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and leave me a comment down below. Do you think that Caleb Downs, taking it easy during the spring period, coming back from an injury, is something to be concerned about? Ryan Day says probably not. And Caleb Downs himself on Tuesday said, yeah, not really. It's a nagging injury that he did not want to be specific about. I understand in this world of secrecy where everybody wants to know everything. And, well, you don't want to show anything. You don't show anything you don't have to. And what we know about Caleb Downs is he's the best safety in college football. That's been true for a couple of years now. Last year, 81 tackles on a national championship team that played a 16-game season and needed to win every game it played in the month of December to do so. It's the reason why Caleb Downs played more defensive snaps than any other player on the Ohio State defense. 910 snaps. It's a lot of football that's being played, and frankly, you got to have that guy on the football field whenever possible, right? You saw what he was capable of. Like before the season began, when he transferred in, there was already a conversation about maybe he can help us out at tailback too, because he has that sort of athleticism, that kind of speed, that kind of burst. But that was before it was very clear that you had a #1 and a #2 in Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson. Couple of guys that are 1,000-yard backs, right? You didn't need the help. And then on the outside, it's an embarrassment of riches with Jeremiah Smith, Emeka Buka, Brandon Ennis, Carnell Tate. Defensively, if there was something to be upset about, it was not in the secondary. I should say it's not in the center of the secondary. There were times when Denzel Burke had us going, all right, dog, anytime now. Jordan Hancock, I thought, was great as a slot corner. Cody Simon, great at that middle linebacker position. Defensive line got better as the season got better, and they were allowed to do a little bit more, and they were able to blitz a little bit more. But one of the reasons they were able to do more is because Caleb Downs was all over your football field. I still marvel at his ability to make tackles near the line of scrimmage. It feels like tight ends should be able to chip him, that guards and tackles should be able to push him out of the way, that running backs that are larger than him should be able to run him over, and running backs that look faster than him should be able to run by him. But he was really remarkable when it came to putting his hands on an offensive player, a ball carrier, putting him down, getting his hands off of the blocker on to the guy that he was trying to tackle. And then you got to see some of that outstanding athleticism when he got to return punts. You saw feast and famine, right? He returned a punt for touchdown, which, again, even in this day and age, I still marvel at, especially because we don't really give players that many opportunities to do such a thing. And usually if they are a defensive player, you almost never see that, right? It's very rare now to see a cornerback or safety returning punts. It's usually a wide receiver's job because they end up handling the ball the most. And it's usually not your best wide receiver's job because you need that guy to catch passes. They put Caleb Downs back there in lieu of Brandon Ennis, and he ran one back. He also put one on the floor. You also get to see why that probably needs to go to a guy that is your #3 wide receiver and has the ability to make that play. One of the things that I also would like to say about punt returners, and this is indicative of who Caleb Downs is, it's a job you really got to want to do. There are lots of players that believe they want to catch punts until you put them back there. And there's nothing like waiting on that ball, which is moving, to come down so that you can catch it, secure it, and then either make a decision about what you're going to do because, well, somebody's bearing down on you, or you just didn't want to wait that long, or field position. You got to put your hand in the air. You got a fair catch. You still got to make the catch. And making the catch is not an easy thing. This is why you see so many of these blooper reels of non-football players or non-skill players trying to catch punts and how funny it is. It is trying to catch a fly ball off a Major League Baseball bat. It's tracking. It's understanding proprioception, where your body is in space. It's the use of hands, the use of soft hands. It's the use of body. And then you got to be able to have the instincts to make a play with the ball in your hands. And not everybody has that either, even if they can make the catch. You'd see in some programs, they just put back the guy with the surest hands and say, okay, if it's inside of here, catch it. If not, let it go. But you're not returning a damn thing. Just catch the ball, right? Because we want the field position. Caleb Downs, you could ask that dude to do almost anything. And we know this because he made over 100 tackles, 107 as a true freshman at Alabama for Nick Saban in his defense. Nick Saban being a defensive-minded coach and a defensive back at heart, that says a lot. He's transfers to Ohio State, and they put him in the same position, and he is answering the call every single time. He is the most valuable player that you have on the defensive side of the ball. I would not mind not seeing that man in pads at all until August. And even then, it's all right, when we really got to start hitting people, perhaps to get him in shape to hit people, then we'll do it. But for now, make that dude a glorified secondary coach. Get reps for other players. Grow up other players. Let's find out what else we got, because we know that guy is going to play at an unanimous All-American level. Let's make sure that if the worst should happen, we are prepared for that. We don't do that by continuing to play Caleb Downs when it doesn't really matter. That's where I was going to go with that. Where it doesn't really matter. I get why we're all upset about spring football. I also get why so many people find it ridiculous, and why some of us just like, hey man, I just like to watch some ball. I like to watch some ball. I would like to watch ball. I would like to watch college football. I know that we got other football to watch, like the UFL or even the CFL when it comes back around, or the NFL when it returns. But if you're going to give me ball, I would like to watch the college variety. And as long as we are still playing spring football, I would like to see some of the younger players go after each other. And by that, I mean, like, how often do you get to see your third or fourth string players in competitive environments in front of people? It's rare. Usually the most competitive you get might be an Okie drill, which we don't really do anymore. Team period, which is kind of there, but it's rarely ones on ones. It's rarely threes on threes. It's usually ones on threes, scout team versus first team, so forth. I would like to make that into a competitive thing where we're not just eating steaks and hot dogs. I would like it to make it into something a little bit more of a spectacle. I'm not quite sure where we would land on this, because there are those true freshmen that you do want to protect, say like Jeremiah Smith last year, or your redshirt freshmen that you want to protect like James Peoples this year. But I think there's still room for, hey, some of these guys are not going to get an opportunity to play a whole bunch of football come the fall because they're just not that good, but they are good enough to be here. Why not build an opportunity for those players to make those plays? And I'm not saying we do powder puff stuff like that where we have like the players coaching each other. I am saying I would like to see even teams that are third and fourth strings while we get the Caleb Downs and whatnot on the sideline. So we can also see some of the other guys play, but also they can get the opportunity to just have us see them play. That is one of the things I think we're missing in all of this. Football players like to play football. Full stop. We're limiting opportunities to play football for some of the players that don't rate in as far as needing the reps or don't rate in as far as helping us play. That's what playing spring football has been about for me, and that's why it's so important that you do it in front of people, because you might not get another opportunity to do that. When you play in garbage time, stadium's empty. That's why it's garbage time, because game's over, so everybody's leaving. Let's do this when you know that you can get as many people in there as you possibly can to go, yeah, I can play. Now, there's positive and negative effects to all of that, injury, transfer portal, whatnot. But I would much rather see a 19-year-old, 20-year-old who's third or fourth on the depth chart get an opportunity to play 4 quarters of football in the spring than I would to see a glorified showcase or practice.